Hello, today we are reviewing a brand new instrument by Libra Wave. It's called the Shepherds Flute. The actual instrument name is the Bulgarian Kaval. I had to double check that. And recently we actually did look at another new instrument by the same company, Libra Wave. It was called the Lyrical Bansuri, which is another woodwind instrument. If you're in the market for a woodwind instrument, something maybe a little bit different than your traditional flutes, these two are definitely some good choices at very reasonable prices. Currently, the Shepherd Flute is on an introductory sale. It's only £10, which in all honesty, for the hard work they put into these instruments and for the quality you're getting, it is a steal. Now, bear in mind, it's £10, not £100, so there are some compromises which we will get into. But overall, beautiful instrument. There's an affiliate link down in the description if you decide to buy it. I get a small percentage which helps out the channel, but that will not alter my opinion on this honest review. I'm going to tell you the facts, how it is, and well, you're going to hear the samples, so you're going to be able to make a choice whether this is something for you or not. So let's get into the instrument itself. Now, what I really like about this instrument, it's called the Shepherd's Flute for a start, so that should really set the scene. It's got this lovely wispy vocalist aspect to it. Now, I'm not actually talking about the vocal sustains or staccatos or vocal staccattissimos. I'm not actually the biggest fan of those articulations, but from the actual performance patch and the normal sustained sound that we're getting from it, it just has this beautiful wispy sound that you just don't get with a normal flute. So I'm probably going to shut up now and play. The UI is very self-explanatory. That's the word. One thing I will add, it is mono and it is close mic'd. So this allows you to essentially add on images to create a nice stereo field and some reverb, which I will highly recommend. I will play the raw patch before I turn on some free stuff, which you can download today to improve the quality of the instrument. In the past, I have talked to David Healy, who is the creator and owner of Libra Wave, about maybe putting in a stereo imager, and what he's come back and said is he's going to create a plugin that basically does that. So it's not going to be a part of it, it's going to be something separate, but something you can use on multiple instruments, something similar, I guess, to Ozone Imager too. So that's going to be interesting when that finally comes out. There's other exciting things going on at Libra Wave. I had a lovely conversation with the owner, and believe me, there's a lot to be excited about, and there will be some free stuff coming next year. Fingers crossed. Now, let's finally dive in, stop the chatter, and listen to this instrument raw. I'll then turn on the effects. Now that is the raw sound. That's what you're going to get if you're just playing this. There is a little bit of vibrato on over here, which you can completely turn off. You can control, make it more vibrato-y. I believe it is an artificial vibrato, but it's very passable for an artificial one. And what I love about the performance patch is the fact that it goes between the shorts and the longs. You don't have to change the articulations yourself, even though you can do that. You can see the key switches there on the screen, but you can just play. And it will swap between those different articulations. So what are we going to use to make it sound that little bit better at no extra cost? Well, we're going to use Ozone Imager 2. I love this plugin. I rant and rave about it on a lot of my videos. So this simply will just create a nice stereo field from this mono sound. As we can see, it is mono. We will go stereoize, adds a little plus. I quite like mode 1. And probably lay off a little bit there. And then I'm going to go over and just use the very bog standard Space Designer reverb in Logic Pro X. This is literally the default patch, and maybe just make it a little bit less wet, maybe about -20 on the default, large and bright, and just watch as this instrument just blossoms through a simple bit of stereoization and reverb. So something a little bit different, and just that little bit of stereoization and reverb adds so much to it. Of course, you can add plenty more. To make it more mystical, and it really does have that fantasy vibe that a traditional flute doesn't quite give me without working it over a little bit. But that's the performance patch, probably my favorite patch out of all of them, simply because it's all in one. I wish more people would do that. Next we have our staccatos, and we should probably turn off our reverb and our stereoization just so we can hear the raw. So you've definitely got some dynamic layers there. I know on the bottom notes you have some more sort of sounds on the top end of the velocity layers, which have a really nice effect I quite like, and just adding a little bit of reverb and stereoization. Beautiful. And then moving over to our Staccatissimo, so something a little bit faster. And if we turn some reverb and imaging on, beautiful Staccatissimo's an essential part of this library. Overblown Sustains. Just a nice added articulation you can flick between, really nice to have there. Vocal sustains. Yeah, but not my favourite, as I said at the beginning. We should give it a chance and put some reverb on and some imaging and see what happens. A little bit better, but still not something I see myself personally using. Vocal staccatos, vocal staccattissimos. Not bad actually. Let's put some reverb on and see. Just gonna turn the reverb down a little bit. Very different, completely different sound. So moving on to the final articulation, finger taps. This one kind of surprised me, and hopefully you'll see what I mean. Finger taps, but pitched finger taps, and I almost see a good use for this with an arpeggiator and what's the word? More electronic music. This is an articulation. Surprisingly, I think I'll probably use the most because it has just that really nice pitchy, I almost want to say pluck, but it's not a pluck. Organic pitch finger tap. I don't know how best to describe it, but I'm going to add a little bit of imaging and a little bit of reverb and probably turn it up just a touch. Now, do bear in mind the price of this library. Starting price is £10, full price £19. Honestly, you're getting a lot of value for your money there. That performance patch alone is worth that £10 simply because with one patch and one articulation, you've got everything there. You've got your longs, you've got your shorts. Use your dynamic fader there to control some dynamic. You've got expression there, of course, as well. And of course, you can CC the vibrato just by right-clicking, and you can control that. And there you have it. If you do want to get a little bit more into it, you have the staccato, staccattissimos, and overblown if you really want a bit more of a forceful attack. I'm personally going to stay away from the vocal patches there. They sound a little bit artificial for me, but might be someone else's cup of tea. And finally, that finger taps honestly surprised me, and there's a piece I'm currently writing that I'm going to include that in already, just to give that extra bit of expression, I think is the right word. But anyway, I rate it. I love it. I love what Libra Wave are doing. I'm excited for their future. I've hoped you've enjoyed this walkthrough and review. As always, I let the samples speak for themselves. But if you don't quite like this flute, don't forget there is another one they recently did called Lyrical Bansuri, which is an absolutely gorgeous and warm wind instrument. And we will close by playing a little bit of this. If you want to know more about this instrument, I'll leave a link or a card or something for that full review I did on that one. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.